Yeah, if you woke up and looked at Twitter or other places this morning, I'll tell you saw a video of some folks out in St. Louis. I don't know if you saw that video, Pat. You didn't see it by the look on your face.
I've seen a lot this morning, so tell me which one this one is.
The one with the husband and wife outside their mansion, and the husband's got an AR-15. The wife has a little silver pistol. You should pull this up because what happened in this particular neighborhood is it's a private neighborhood, totally private. It's gated, and it's a private street. And apparently, these are some of the prominent old homes in St. Louis, Missouri. So these are, it'd be kind of like our Bayshore Boulevard, with some of these historic old homes on it, and maybe even more so because, these are some real mansions. Anyway, these protesters from the BLM movement come through the gate. It's marked as private residence only. It is not a public street, but they open the gates up and they start pouring into this private neighborhood. Well, meeting them ready to go is a guy and his wife, and again, the guy's got his AR-15 out. And a funny story about those two as well. I don't know them personally, but they are trial lawyers in Missouri, which I think is sort of interesting. So they tend to represent the injured. And most people who are trial lawyers, not all people, but I would say the vast majority of people that are personal injury trial lawyers fall on the very liberal part of the spectrum. So they would be very pro BLM and these liberal Marxist movements that are ongoing.
I would expect those trial attorneys, rather than have their guns out there, they should have some paperwork. Hey, have you been injured in an auto accident?
Come on by and sign up, folks. We got a whole bunch of new clients. That's right. But anyway, it's quite an interesting series of videos that you can go out there and see. I would be quite fearful for these two because no matter how good of a shot you are, if you've got a whole crew of people about to rush you, which is basically what it looks like. It's a highly tense situation.
Looks like he's guarding the White House.
It's a nice home. I'm telling you, Pat George. They've done well for themselves. Obviously, the plaintiff's personal injury business is lucrative, at least for these two in St. Louis.
I couldn't believe when I looked at that house too. I was like, "Is that it doesn't even look real." Like this video to me doesn't look real. It looks staged. I know that it's probably real because crazy things happen in this world, but it looks almost hokey.
Well, and it could be, I guess, conspiratorially, could it be staged for effect? I guess so, but after I saw it this morning, one of the things that I did is I went and I checked out their law firm.
I bet you did.
And I checked out the law firm website, and I checked out their reviews on Google and Yelp, and they're going to be hurting for business, I would say, because they got about 1,000 one-star reviews today from people all about this situation. And then other people, you can tell that it's really about this situation, but they're saying things about the quality of their work. But you could see the time that these reviews are posted, and they're all posted approximately 8 to 10 hours ago. And so, obviously they're arising from this particular incident. But what the point of mentioning it right now is just how disturbing it is, because how close we're getting as a society to some kind of violence, which is really a sad and disturbing development in our civil discourse. We can't even hardly call it civil discourse anymore, right? Now we have to, it's almost uncivil discourse that we're having with each other, and this sort of, countervailing threats of violence. We're going to come bust up your house. Oh, no, you're not. I'm going to shoot you up. And, that's now the level to which we've gotten in this country. And whose hands is this playing into? Who is bettered by this? Are any of the people, like Edie was saying, we're all part of the same group here, the humanity. We're all human beings, and we're all tied together, whether we like it or not, in the same group. And so, here we are fighting against each other. And who's bettered by that? Who wins in these kinds of situations? Who wins here?
Nobody.
Nobody wins, Pat George. Nobody wins. And so we're going to see more and more of this. I'm disturbed that not just in this particular incident, because these things can arise sort of quickly with these mobs moving around, sort of almost a flash mob concept. You don't know where they're going to be.
And it can happen at any intersection, anytime, any place.
Yeah.
You almost don't want to go out on the roads.
We heard a recent, 911 call of a lady who was in her car. I forget what town it was in, but she was surrounded by rioters, and they were jumping on her car. She called the police department, called 911, and 911 says, we've been told to stand down. Call City Hall. You got a problem, ma'am? Call City Hall. We've been told not to do any law enforcement. So here she is. She has her kids in the car. She says, and my daughter, I think it was her daughter, my daughter's in the car with me. And they're jumping on the hood of my car. What do I do? What do I do? Because, what do you do in that situation? I mean, I know a lot of people, you're going to be tempted to put your foot on the gas, right? Because your car is your only defense in that case. And you got to try to get out of there. And it's, oh, my gosh, you ran over these people. Well, I mean, come on. What are you supposed to do? Are you just supposed to sit there and they smash your car in and smash your head in? As they've done before to people like Reginald Denny, now we're going back 30 years. But, these situations where people are getting pulled out of their cars and having their heads bashed in, this is a scary situation. And how is that how we're interacting with each other? I mean, how are we going to come back together in our country and move forward when we've got these kind of incidents starting to happen and starting to spread? So it's a very sad development for our country. I don't think it bodes well for the future. I think it should be pretty obvious there are people that are trying to fan these flames of division. We've talked about it here on the show before, concept of divide and conquer. Why are they trying to break us down into all these different identities, ethnic and racial identities? Why? I mean, like Edie Darling would say, why aren't we all just human beings? Instead, no, I'm black or I'm white, and you're not. We're different. You don't have the same experience as me, and we can't find a way to come together because of that difference. And of course, it's all created in our own minds.
When in reality, if we all just think about the fact, hey, we're all brothers and sisters. Let's see each other as human beings and try to move forward and have empathy and have sympathy.
Well, what scares me is the age of the protesters that want to abolish the system. At this age, it's going to be around a while in their minds that this is not right. And what do they want to change it to?
Yeah. They don't know.
I just think that there are some very important values that we've kind of make us successful and make things happen. One is hard work, and one is having kindness and respect for other people. And one is having pride in yourself and your country. And the people who are part of some of these movements, they, like you said, the ones that are at that level of anarchy and the ones that want to break the system down, they are not interested in any of those things.
I believe you bring back the draft. Bring that back, and a little bit of respect can be taught,
Well, I don't know. I think, unfortunately, it has to start earlier in life. That's a lot of the problem that we have.
Yeah, you're right. It's
the
probably
inculcation of values has to begin when the person is a child. It has to start. By the time a child is age 6 or 7, it's almost getting to be too late to begin that process of inculcating the values into the next generation. So it starts with a strong family system that has values and passes those values like you're talking about. And we all have to decide in life. We all have to decide, what do I value in life? What is it that I value? And you have to make your decision, and you have to pick something. You can't be ambivalent about it. You have to pick something, and you have to stand up for it and try and get others to share your values. And we better start doing this quick. And that's, we loved Edie Darling's spirit, such a sweet spirit, such a needed spirit right now in our culture, somebody to stand up and try to bring people together and build bridges instead of creating more division. And we look to our media, and all they're doing is putting out stories that are going to divide us. And I see these stories all over the place, and they're designed to inflame the passions and feelings on both sides and turn both sides against each other. And, of course, this is designed with an end in mind, which is to take down the system and the values that have existed in this country, like we've talked about. And that's a sad thing. And it's sad that the media is not just participating in it, but they're one of the leaders of this movement, this divide and conquer movement. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.